Hey everybody, Brian Horvath here with another LinkedIn Live Q&A on Wednesday. Excited to share with you today's topic. So let's go ahead and jump in. It's going to be quite a bit. Usually try to keep this at 30 minutes and don't want to overwhelm you today. Of course, any of these videos that you see can be looked at on my YouTube channel, and you can go to youtube.com/C. Yeah, this is the fun part, right? youtube.com/C/Brian Horvath on purpose, and you can find these LinkedIn Live Q&As that we do every Wednesday at noon on that channel. I either give the whole show there or break down little nuggets on what the topic was for the day. And you can go ahead and get insight and just LinkedIn changing information for you right there every single Wednesday. I try to post those right away, and you can have access to them in case you missed the live at noon or the time doesn't work for you, so on and so forth. But every Wednesday at noon, right here live at noon Eastern, we'll have LinkedIn Live Q&A until further notice. But anyway, so glad you guys are here, and like I said, we're going to jump into some Q&A here in a minute, and really what the sources of these questions or of these even nuggets, these topics that I share every single week, or questions that I get throughout the day, whether it's in speaking engagements that I do, or consulting that I work with clients or companies, or in coaching one-on-one with individuals. These are the LinkedIn questions that they have, and there are a lot of ways to go about LinkedIn, but my ultimate goal for you and for what I teach in the framework from what I teach from is to help you know, live, and love the purpose for your career in finances. And specifically, our career and finances are not the life's goal or life's end result, but are tools to help us accomplish our overall life purpose. And even a sub niche of that within a career and living, knowing, living, loving your purpose with your career is using LinkedIn. LinkedIn being the world's number one professional social media platform and networking opportunities. I think you really find that it will suit you well when you know how to use it, when you know how to leverage it, when you know how to make it work for you and for those you're connecting with. And that's what the heartbeat of all this is for, to help you know, live, and love the purpose for your career and finances. And specifically on these LinkedIn Lives is to help you use a major tool for you to expand your career, to find new work, to connect with the right people, all within the social media platform, the LinkedIn Professional Network. 740 million people are on the platform, and 95% of recruiters are active on it. I would say definitely weekly, if not daily, and you want to be able to take advantage of what's out there. So that's what I'm here to help you do. And we're going to jump into today's topics and a little bit review of last week. So I hope you're enjoying these things. Love to hear your feedback, love to hear your comments and whatnot. So again, just a reminder that every Wednesday at noon, we'll have this LinkedIn Live Q&A, and you'll be happy to know that I usually answer questions that folks have even outside of the noon time frame, but love to hear from you at noon. Kind of keeps everybody together and in community. So go ahead and put that on your calendar. Set a reminder. Again, as I said, LinkedIn Live Q&A, well, it's based on your questions, and I want to have answers for you. So go ahead and send those in to brian@brianhorvath.com, and every single week I'll be going through those and answering your questions, both live, and sometimes even you'll get a message from me, right, giving you the answer, giving you some insight, and sometimes even asking some clarifying questions so I can best understand the heart of your question, the why of your question, and how to best help you where you're at in your job search or in your networking opportunities, or even as you grow your business and grow your outreach of your company. LinkedIn can be used for all those kinds of things. So brian@brianhorvath.com, which you can send those questions. Today's topic, though, however, is we're going to help you discover how to build and benefit from LinkedIn groups. Build and benefit from LinkedIn groups. And unfortunately, LinkedIn groups get a bad rap for not being a great place to communicate or connect. But, the reason is because a lot of people like Facebook and how Facebook is set up and how groups are set up. And they do a wonderful job of that within Facebook, of having social learning units and connection and all the different polls, the sharing, all the things you can do to invite people to your group. You can host live videos there. They do a great job with that. LinkedIn's, pretty far behind in that regard. However, many times when I'm offering my courses, whether it's my money courses or purpose courses or even LinkedIn courses, when I offer the benefit of a LinkedIn group, or excuse me, a Facebook group, folks are going, well, I'm not on Facebook, and I don't use Facebook, or my wife and I both have an account, or whatever the case may be. And so because of that, LinkedIn groups can be utilized for you to well, use groups to have somewhat of a community online when you're not on Facebook, because Facebook does it better than anybody else. But until then, and especially because folks aren't always using Facebook, I want to be able to talk about LinkedIn, because that's what I do, and talk about LinkedIn groups, help you discover how to build one and how to benefit from one as well. So we're going to go into that today. We're really going to talk about how you can take the initiative, how you can take the lead on taking your message or your why or your reasons that you're on LinkedIn and building a community around it. So stay tuned for that. But before we jump into that, as I do every single time, for those of you that are watching live over the weeks, we'll talk a little quick review from last week. And last week was a question I get a lot, and actually just got it the other day from a friend of mine. He owns a insurance agency. And he said, Brian, do I need to be on LinkedIn? Or excuse me, do I need to have LinkedIn Premium? Should I invest in LinkedIn Premium? Which for a lot of folks, depending where you're at, don't quote me on this. And of course, when you're listening to this, is that it's about $32.95 a month with taxes or whatnot. So again, somewhere in the $30 to $40 range a month for LinkedIn Premium. And I gave the top 5 reasons last week of why you should have it. And here's a couple quick, or here's those 5 reasons here in a quick review. Number 1, when you have LinkedIn Premium, you're able to see who's viewed your profile, which depending on where you're at in your job search, or as a networker, or as a communicator, or as a business owner, or someone that may be prospecting for leads, or whatever the case may be, you want to be able to see who's viewed your profile, because that means something was looked at in your profile for a reason. Whether your profile came up in a feed, or your profile came up in someone's organic search, whatever the case may be, you want to be able to see who's viewed your profile. It's kind of like the curiosity thing, I wonder why they were looking at my profile, or I want to see my profile. I want to see that because I can see what kind of folks are engaging with content I have or with my profile on LinkedIn, and it kind of gives you a little bit of an edge, some leverage to take the next step with that person. If they're interested in for you for whatever reason, you can start a conversation, start a connection, start potentially building an opportunity to see what those folks were, how they got to your profile, and what they are hoping to accomplish by viewing it. So that's a cool little not just a little, I think a great reason. That's why I put it number 1 on the board, right? Survey says for one of the reasons to have LinkedIn Premium. The other is LinkedIn Learning. If you're like me at any level, you love to learn, you love to discover new things, and to be able to use those things in your job search, to use those things in your career, to use those things just how you engage with people, clients, customers, or colleagues, or whatever the case may be. LinkedIn Learning, I think there's like 15,000 classes and all kinds of e-learning modules that are wonderfully done, and really, really professionally done. And really cool how you can set even a goal for yourself to learn little nuggets each and every week. So you really want to invest in yourself, right? Self-leadership, self-awareness, self-development, those kinds of things I think are important. And then you can post on your profile that you've completed that little course, and it shows employers or prospective clients that you're either an expert in your field or someone that's getting after the information to help them fill gaps within their career, or just get extended learning skills to be able to serve their next client, customer, or what have you. So I think it's really cool to be able to take advantage of LinkedIn Learning. Also, company insights. If you, again, are prospecting for new opportunities, if you are looking to grow your network, if you're looking to prospect for clients, then company insights can really help you. And I did a demo on all this last week, so you can check that out. But the company insights is really neat to give you an upper hand, to give you an inside track, give you even keyword building opportunities for what companies are looking for, what their culture's like, how many employees they have, are they growing in their headcount, are they reducing their headcount, and so on and so forth, including who works at that company, right? Companies exist because of people, whether people that work there or people that may be served by the company. And so you want to be able to connect with those people, especially if you're targeting a certain employer in that regard. And then I talked about open profile option. This gives people the ability to not have to spend a LinkedIn email credit, or to be potentially, if they don't even have premium, to have LinkedIn email. Then this open profile allows anyone to communicate with you without having to be a connection. That's an important thing, especially if you're in a job search, especially if you're an open networker or somebody that's looking to make the right connections on LinkedIn quickly, effectively, and efficiently, allowing people to send you a message without having to directly connect with you. As a business owner, as a speaker, consultant, and coach, I'm totally open to that. You may have to start out some spam, but it's worth it to have people be able to have access to you for the right reasons, for the right purposes. Sometimes you got to sort through a little bit of the trash to get through to get to the true treasure. So keep that in mind as you click that on. And I showed you how to do that last week. And then lastly is in-mail credits. So every month you get 5 in-mail credits, and they keep building up as well. You can save them. I don't use mine every month, but when there's a time where I'm on purpose with an event or on purpose with a focus at targeting a company or organization, I want to be able to use those in-mail credits to bypass connecting with them, to get right into the inbox at the top, to be able to get my point across, or to be able to make make a wave, make a good splash in the company, and so on and so forth. So those are the top 5 reasons: who's viewed your profile, LinkedIn Learning, company insights, open profile, and in-mail credits. So hopefully that little review was helpful to you, or maybe you're catching it for the first time. It's not a review; it's brand new. So either way, either way. Oh, and by the way, if you don't want to just quote unquote splurge for the extra technology subscription or whatever, consider trialing it. Just trial it. You can trial it for 1 month at no cost to you. You have to put a credit card on file or a debit card or whatever, however you pay, and they'll bill you a month later on the same day, the anniversary date of the month where you started the trial. But you can always cancel it a day before and try it, track it out, and modify how you use it as you move forward. And then again, it's a month-to-month commitment. So, and by the way, I'm not spiffed on this or bonused on me telling you this, but it's a month-to-month commitment. So, $33 a month. If you're willing to try it for an extra month beyond the trial, really give it some, give it a test, then that could be an opportunity for you as well. Okay, so let's jump into today's topic: how to build and benefit from LinkedIn groups. How to build and benefit from LinkedIn groups. The first thing you got to do is create a group. And I came up with 3 C's, how you can build and benefit. One is create a group. The second, see if I can remember these off the top of my head. The second is create and curate content. And the third is champion community. Champion community. So the first one we'll talk about is creating a group. And this is where we're going to jump into a little live demo mode of the platform. So let me jump into that with you. So here we go. Here's my LinkedIn. Looks like someone's messaged me. Let's see here. I've got some network requests. Let's clean that up. And let's jump over to how to build a group. So let's say you logged in here. And let me get over to dropping in a little overlay with my mug on it. There we go. Hi. So let's see here. We'll make this round and move myself down over here so you guys. Okay. So here we are in live demo mode, and we're going to go to up here to work. Let me blow this up just a bit here. We're going to go over to work mode here and click work. And this is where you'll find your group. This is LinkedIn, more LinkedIn products. You can see what they're highlighting up top is home, my network, jobs, messaging, all that stuff. But buried here in this little work drop down is groups. So I want to get to groups here. It looks like I may have, let me fix this. There we go. I may have, yeah, I did. I created a couple things in advance so we can make this quicker. So we're going to go over to create a group. Create a group. And a couple things it's going to ask you to do or get started with when you create a group is to kind of brand it right off the top, right? So we're going to work on that together here. And so in advance, I went ahead and put together a couple of things. One was the cover image. So cover image is kind of like your banner that gives you the mark. It's like a little billboard effect. And I just created a couple of basic templates here. And so here we go. Your purpose, Brian's group, nothing, no big deal. And I'm going to come down here and apply it. So there's going to be my banner at the top of my group, right? And then I'm going to create a little icon here, upload logo, okay? And so I went and took my logo for my business, little PNG here, and I'll apply it, okay? So those are 2 quick things. We'll take a couple more minutes. And it looks like I should have used my JPEG, not a PNG, because it took out, made a transparent background, but you wouldn't want to make it just be a black box, right? And then my group name. Now, what I really want to encourage you here with your group name is to have be specific, but you can't have 1,000 words, right? You can see here you have 100 characters for your name, right? Your group name. So let's call it leaders in coaching, training, and public speaking. Okay, just making this up here. And you can see I used half of my characters. Now, what I want to have you understand is this is a great space for keywords. And we talked about this in past trainings. That keywords is like the currency that LinkedIn operates in. With LinkedIn being a database, what allows connections and kind of transactions to happen is with keywords. Keywords is kind of like the currency. So LinkedIn will search for people's keywords, bring them to the top of the list when employers are looking for prospective employees, when recruiters are looking to hire someone, hiring managers, and so on and so forth, but also people that are looking for content or groups. They're going to type into search keywords, right? And that plus who you're connected with is really important to have your content be seen, have your brand be noticed and recognized, and for people to contact you. We also talked about call to actions in previous trainings as well, right? So in a group name is a heavy opportunity, a key important opportunity for you to be able to use keywords that make sense for you. I would say they should represent, depending on what the purpose of the group is here for, the purpose of your group is to have keywords that really mimic or mirror or match or integrate with what's in your headline. And if you follow the 7 steps that I share with how to make the right connections on LinkedIn, I call it the ultimate LinkedIn profile, then you'll know what I'm talking about. You also hear about it or see about it in future videos, you see it in past videos. It really is through and through what I do and what I believe in. Okay, now let's talk about a description. What description should I use? And this is very basic, but I'm going to say leaders, and I'm going to use actually the group name again. Leaders in coaching, training, and public speaking come together. Now notice I have 2,000 characters this time. Come together to connect, share best practices, resources, and prospective leads. Okay, very basic. Leaders in coaching, training, and public speaking come together to connect, share best practices, resources, and prospective leads. We also encourage one another in our craft and commerce. Okay, so way short of the description. You could put a bunch of other things in there depending on, I'm not saying this makes sense to do every time, but I just want to test this with you. Is putting in a URL, or potentially, depending on what kind of group it is, you might want to put in, and what you do is a piece of your portfolio, or a lead magnet if you're selling a product or a service, or a freebie or a giveaway, or a sample of your work on YouTube or Vimeo or some other, or even within LinkedIn, whatever the case may be, or even a link to your resume, whatever, if it makes sense. Okay, if it makes sense, or maybe there's an event you have on a spotlight or highlight that you want to keep up on. This kind of box can be potentially used for that. And then you want to select your industry. Now, in this case, sometimes I like the LinkedIn industry, sometimes I don't. Sometimes they make complete sense, and sometimes you're really trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Not quite sure why that is, but I'm going to go ahead and put, just going to make up a few. I'm going to put writing and editing, because a lot of times if you're speaking, you need to write your content, right, potentially. For the most part, most people would. Let's put in here health and wellness and fitness. Maybe you're speaking on mental health, or you're trying to reach that group. Okay. And then let's put in, there was one other one I thought makes sense, public relations and communications. So that could be a catch-all for this kind of group. All right. Now the location, she gives me some suggested. Obviously the world could be one, right? If we want to narrow it down just a little bit, we go to the United States, and even more specific, Greater Tampa Bay. Let's call it Greater Tampa Bay. That's where I live, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. And those are just suggestions. So watch, I can type in Florida. Oops, just kind of got my keyboard on the side here. I can type in Florida and whatnot. Maybe it's a group we want to have connected with Florida. Now, little hack, group rules. I would suggest you go over to Facebook and find a group, a public group, and kind of hack their group rules, which talks about, no malicious content, no hate speech, no bullying, things like that. For this group, you can just copy and paste that and use that same terminology. It usually makes sense. No public linking, no sale, no selling, depending on what your group's all about, the heartbeat of it. You may or may not want to have those certain rules. Let's just call it don't be a goofball. Uh, you know what is and what isn't appropriate. Thanks. Right? Silly stuff, but it happens. We can our goofballs out there, right? I've been one. I can be one sometimes still. So group discoverability. Do I want it listed or unlisted? Obviously, listed is people can search it. It's kind of like an open group, right? Anybody can walk in the virtual door of your group. The other one is unlisted. Group does not appear in search results, and it's really not viewable on other members' profiles. It's just maybe an internal group. You want to use LinkedIn as the hosting platform, right? Allow members to invite their connections. Yeah, I mean, depending on how you want this group to grow, or you're trying to keep it to us four and no more, whatever the case may be. And then this could be something you might want to, as a new group, you really want to make sure folks are doing the right thing, require new posts to be reviewed by the admin, or maybe because it's a new group, you just want to see how it goes. You don't want to lock anything down. You don't want to curtail creativity or content. You want to let it be free flowing and going, and then make the change later as necessary. So I think what we got our headshot, or excuse me, our cover photo, our banner image, if you will. We have our logo and whatnot, and then we have, or whatever, if you want to make a smaller headshot of yourself, you want to use that, that's fine. We have our group name, which includes keywords, right? Coaching, training, public speaking. Leaders could be a keyword depending on what you're doing, who you are. And then our little description, again repeating the name of the group with the keywords: location, industry, and group rules, as well as discoverability and permissions. I'm going to go ahead and click create. And congratulations, we now have a new group called Leaders in Coaching, Training, and Public Speaking. And you can see how it's all set up. You can see here on this page where you can invite connections, right? You can start inviting people. Now let's click on that, see what that looks like. You can just search your connections by name. You can search by location. Like we said, if it was only in Florida, let's say we had a hope one day to maybe meet in person too. So let's just keep it to Florida. Who are my location? Who are my people in Florida? Okay. You can even search by name. What other Horvaths am I connected with? Well, here's my wife. So I'm going to invite my wife, Becky, to join my group. So that's kind of how simple it is to get started and get going. Here's the About Group section. You can see where you can potentially put your URLs in here, although they're not hyperlinked out. They're not clickable, which is unfortunate. But here's the admin. It shows the admins. This would be you, right? It shows your cover, your profile photo, and then your headline, and so on and so forth. Of course, they'll got to get their promotions in. And then you can grow your community by downloading a free guide. I would encourage you to do that as well. Hashtags that I follow. This is all personal stuff on the left-hand side. And then you want to start posting content, right? So we'll talk about that in a second. Test. It's called test content. You can post photos, add videos, documents, share that you're hiring, celebrate an occasion, create a poll, very cool stuff. And there's even a couple more stuff. Add to your post other things. Okay, let's celebrate it. Celebrate an occasion. Welcome to the team. This is fun stuff. Depending on what you're trying to do and who you're trying to do it with, this could be really neat to do. Let's pick on my wife a little bit some more. All right, and this is interesting. If we notice here, this little post bubble is way over here. I don't know why, but let's post that and create a post. And here's our first post. Pretty neat, right? So you can do this for new group members. Really neat way to engage them and invite them, celebrate them, highlight them, and so on and so forth. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. So let's jump back over to the presentation here. Whoa, that's the wrong button. Don't do that, Brian. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Let's go back to um, getting back to our little keynote here. There we go. Okay, so that was live demo mode of how to create a group. Pretty easy, right? And again, I talked more, and that took off, some of the time here, but it really won't take you that long. It really won't take you that long. But exciting stuff, right? I think it's neat. I think groups are going to come a long way within LinkedIn as it grows. It needs to grow. It must grow. So take advantage of it. But a hot tip, and we already kind of went over this a little bit in the demo there, is use the right keywords when naming your group. And I would encourage you to use the keywords that mirror what are in your headline the best it can. Now, again, if the group is completely isolated or separated from siloed from what you're having in your headline, yeah, you're not going to make it up. You're not going to force it. But if you're trying to gain influence, you're trying to gain market share, mind share of those out there that can hire you and whatnot, you may want to highlight those keywords in there as well because they're searchable, they're worth some weight, and they can help you to be connected with the right people on LinkedIn as they're searching and as you're searching and whatnot. So good stuff, everybody. All right, so next we want to craft and curate content. We're not going to be as long on this kind of stuff, but if you want to lead a group, if you want to build and benefit from a group, there's going to be giving people a reason of why to be there, right? What's going to keep them engaged? What's going to add value to them? How are you going to serve them? And keep in mind that if you spend time, invest time doing this now, this stuff does not have to be, it's not wasted time. It can be used for a lot of different ways, depending on where you're coming from. This could be used in your business. This can be used in how you communicate at work. This can be used in your colleagues. This could be used for potential clients and prospects. This can be used just to show in your personal portfolio how you're able to be creative, how you add value to people, how you solve problems that exist in the marketplace. But specifically, once you build your group, you want to be able to have content being built into it. And there's a couple ways. I want to take the pressure off of you that you don't have to do all this heavy lifting yourself. There are ways that you can create and craft content, sure, by writing your own posts, by creating updates. And 200 words, 300 words, or maybe it's just a blurb, maybe it's an excerpt, maybe it's a quote, maybe it's an image, a meme, whatever the case may be, depending on the purpose of your group. There are many ways to engage those that'll be in your group to add value to them. You can also use services like plr.me. plr.me is private license, private label content that are written by folks that do that every single day, and they give you all kinds of content, some for free, some you have to pay for, but it can really help you present people with information that's going to help them be life-changing, help them grow in their life, in their business, in their career, with their family, whatever the case may be that's specific to your group. plr.me will have content where you don't have to create on your own. It allows you to use it as is. If you buy it and download it, or you download it for free, you can use it 100% as is, or you can make it a little bit your own and just tweak it just a little bit to have that feel, that branding, that look, that feel, that voice that you are looking to execute on. Okay. And maybe also too, just think about what have you maybe written or prepared in the past that can serve you now within your group as it makes sense. Scan your hard drive, check your database, check your Evernote, check your, I don't know, maybe it's even your own, your file folders, whatever the case may be, stuff that you can repurpose, that you can reuse, that you can put on there to add value to people. Some topics, again, are easier than others, right? But all in all, there are many ways, as you could see from the demo we just did, of content that you can upload, that you can paste, that you can post with to be relevant, to be consistent, and add value. So craft content. The other way is to curate content. You can curate content. So you might craft content that's your own, but you can also curate content, meaning you're kind of sourcing it from other sources. You're curating it like a museum curator would do. They're bringing in pieces of art or of historical value or of public interest from all different kinds of sources, and that would be you within LinkedIn. So in your group, whatever the topic is, you can go search Google, you can search YouTube, right? You can make a YouTube playlist of other people's stuff that you would just post in there, kind of helps them be seen, be recognized, and add value to more people. I know that blesses me when people share the stuff I've created, not just for themselves to be used for, but they share it with others. So there's many ways to do that. And one of the cool little nuggets there is to mention the creator, tag the creator as it makes sense, and use hashtags that would help you really kind of frame it all and make it targeted for people, make it easy for people to find your content within the group, but also in the World Wide Web itself, right? So a couple things there. Post from other social media platforms. So if you're out on Facebook, you're out on Twitter, if you're out on YouTube, um, Insta, TikTok, whatever. I don't even have an account on TikTok yet, but wherever you have, you can use that and bring that into LinkedIn. Okay, maybe you do that once a week, like your highlights or something like that. And last but not least is spotlight events, whether in person or online, that would serve your group well. Spotlight events that would help people grow and go in their purpose or the purpose even of your group. Okay, so a lot of different ways, a lot of opportunities where you don't have to feel like you have to come up with everything, because it can be overwhelming if you feel that that's what you have to do. Okay, I don't want you to have to feel that way. So let's continue to roll here. So that's creating, crafting, and curating content. And we'll bless you and help others along the way. The cool thing is when you're not always thinking about yourself and doing it for others, it really is pretty cool how you can have fun doing this, right? Seeking to serve people with what you do best. Those who need most, what you do best. Seek to serve those who need most with what you do best. A group is a great way to do that. So here's another hot tip. When crafting and curating content, remember that people like to be educated and entertained. We want to be able to learn something, to be impacted, empowered, encouraged, but also have fun while we do it. And it's one of the mantras I kind of have is let's have fun while getting it done. You can use that with content. You can use that by being you. You can use that entertain and educate, or educate and entertain mindset, and ask yourself the question, is this content I'm about to put up, is it going to educate? Is it going to entertain? Or maybe it does both. If it does both, it has a great potential to be a home run, right? Think if it does both and people know about it, right? That's the marketing piece of it, the advertising piece of it. You're really going to have a great piece of content that's going to add value for a long time coming. And you're going to promote engagement in your group, which is fun. The third one is champion community. I think this is a big opportunity for folks who miss out on LinkedIn, is that it can be used for community as well. We think about Facebook, or we think about Instagram, when we think about community online, but how about a community online of professionals? Being the largest professional network, if you're a champion of community, if you're championing content, if you're championing adding value, you're going to get recognized not only by your peers, you're going to get recognized by prospective companies that might want to hire you, or colleagues that you're connected with or seek you out maybe for advice to help them in their career or their finances or their whatever job you're doing or working on together. But it also allows you to be recognized by the platform as somebody that is using the platform in a great way, and they want to highlight that. So if you have any goals or ambitions to get your group out there in a wider way or bigger way, champion community. Because what do platforms like this want to do? They want to keep us on the platform, right? They want people to stay at the party. They want to keep the party going. And so champion community, being a champion of community and championing community will get you a nice lift from LinkedIn itself. So how do we do that? Well, people make the world go round, right? I think there's an old stylistic songs. People make the world go round. And that's what I'm talking about, community. It's nice to post some content and kind of drift into space, or to, drop the mic, leave it behind and not connect with anyone, but that's not going to get it done long term. You want to remember that people are on the platform. It's the reason why it exists is because of people. So if you're going to build your group, if you're going to build and benefit your group, you want to invite people personally. Typing up little LinkedIn notes personally to those folks you'd love to see in your group. Don't just invite. Okay, that might be like 10% of the time, but 90% of the time you want to write some nice little messages, and it can be templated out. You make a little tweak here and there about how you're going to connect with a certain person or another, but find those circle of influence, find those key influencers, find people you want to invite to your group you believe could benefit, and they could benefit from you, you could benefit from them, and invite them personally. There's nothing like getting a nice little note like that from somebody that really thought of someone enough to invite them to their group personally. Then also another way is to champion communities. You want to have people come there. You want people to see value there. You want them to engage content, to be able to grow, meet up with the right people. And so you want to post a minimum 1 to 2 times a week. I can tell you for many years I struggled with this, because either I didn't believe in what I was writing was good, or I was struggling with imposter syndrome, or I just wasn't consistent. I was consistently inconsistent. If you're going to benefit or build and benefit from a group, one thing you need to do is have consistent content, which is why I talked to you about creating and curating, as opposed to always feeling like you have to create yourself. Okay, have a nice healthy blend there. And it will take time, so take the time to do it. Also, you want to serve as a networking bridge. You want to serve as a networking bridge for people within the group. So invite them, yes, but as people join, as you are led and as you see connectivity, bring those people together. Be somebody that introduces them, even privately, sure, but even publicly connect them so people can see that this is the kind of group where people are going to connect for the right reasons, on purpose and with a purpose. So people make the world go round. So you want to champion community. And there was an old Earl Nightingale tape. Look him up. Earl Nightingale talked about how him and his wife moved into a new community and noticed that someone was moving out of the community. And they had just moved in. Like, well, why are these people moving out? It looks like we were going to get to know them and all that stuff. And Earl Nightingale asked the guy, well, why are you guys moving? He said, well, my wife never connected here. No one ever came and saw her. No one ever knocked on the door and introduced themselves. Guess what? It's not going to happen here either. You need to be the one to take initiative because most people won't connect on purpose. It won't connect first. It will take someone like you or me or you to take initiative. So when they join your group, take initiative to build a bridge to bring people together so they don't miss out on the power of the community that you're championing. Okay, next hot tip for increased engagement over the long haul. And I'm not saying day one, but over the long haul for increased engagement, maybe host a Teams, Microsoft Teams, or a Zoom meeting of those people specifically in your group so they can get to know each other face to face the best they can over computer. And of course, like I said earlier, if it's a group within a certain state or certain city, there may be an opportunity for an annual get together of the group as that is permissible or practical for those that are in the group. So that's a nice hot tip for you to remember that you can bring people together in this kind of one-way, two-way street, but how about a three-dimensional? Allow people to really meet and greet over a Zoom or whatnot. It's just a hot tip. A bonus tip, if you're unemployed, one of the tips that I love to share with you is to take your group that you've created, if you're unemployed, or if you're unemployed, create a group. Call yourself the founder of that group and post that as your current job title within your LinkedIn profile. Why? Because LinkedIn gets you more views on your profile from recruiters and hiring managers and people that of influence that you want to be looking at your profile. You'll get more hits for keywords in your profile when you have a current job title. And for folks that are unemployed, they don't necessarily have a current job title. One of the workarounds to get those point value from people looking for someone like you is to be able to call your group, take your group name, put it as your company under your experience, call that your company, and then put founder, put a little hyphen or one of those little bars that's above if you're on a Mac, it's above the return key. It's called what do they call that darn thing? I just forgot what it's called. Oh my gosh. But a pipe. Take a pipe and put that between founder, then a pipe, and then put your keywords for that group. That will allow you to circumvent or work around the fact that LinkedIn wants people that have a current job title at the top of the list of search results. You can use a group that you founded, that you're the founder of, use the group as your current job title and use your current company, and as your current job title, put founder, pipe, and then the keywords. That will alleviate you missing out on the opportunities of having a current job title when hiring managers, recruiters, and people of influence are searching for what you do best. Because what you do best, they need the most. They have a problem, you're the solution. Use LinkedIn to showcase all that value you bring. You hear me talk about that in other videos too. So that's the unemployed, or that's the bonus tip of how you can use groups in a little bit of a different way, how you can build a group and benefit when you're unemployed. All right, I was going to show you a demo, but for time's sake, maybe I'll create a separate video afterwards. But for today's live, I'm going to skip that for now. Next week's live is about the 3 main ways to use LinkedIn while in a job search. The 3 things you must do to be effective in your job search. I'm going to share with that next week. And you know what? Even if you're not unemployed, anytime you're in a job search, you can use these things. So don't maybe just look at today and be a little bit blinded by that, but have a little bit of vision. Are you happy where you're at? Because most people in this country are unfulfilled in the work they do. Sometimes it's attitude inside. Sometimes it's external, but most times it's internal. And many more times it's a blend of both. So if you're in that place, this next week, the 3 main ways to use LinkedIn while in a job search will really bless you and benefit you. Okay, moving forward, I'm excited to share with you a little something if I can get my thing. Oh, Brian at brianhorvath.com. I'll mention again. Email me your questions in advance. We'll highlight them on the show because guaranteed someone has these questions as well as you do. Somebody has these questions as well as you do. So let's get those answered for you guys. You can email me that anytime and I'll put it in the queue for next. So next week's live, same time, noon Eastern, 12 noon Eastern. Same thing, right? And you can view this group on Facebook. You can view it on YouTube. I'm multi-streaming it out now. You can view it on my Living on Purpose with Brian Horvath group. The three main ways to use LinkedIn while in a job search. That will be next week. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to announce that I have come up with a new product, a new service, a new product to service you in your purpose. It's called Your Purpose, How to Know It, Live It, Love It. It's my audiobook, and it's about an hour or so long, and it will go over with you, man, really help you to skyrocket in your purpose. Too many people aren't sure of their purpose in life. Too many people don't know how or know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, it's hard to live it. Because even if you were living it and didn't know it, you wouldn't know you were living it, right? But I want to share with you how to know it so you can be encouraged in that, how to live it out, to take practical steps to actually do it. And I believe when you know your purpose, when you're living out, you will love it. In this $7 audiobook, and you can download it on your phone or your computer or whatnot, you can go get it at bit.ly/purpose audiobook. I'd love to have you pick that up, check it out, and I just released it, well, at the time of this recording yesterday, and I'm really excited about the folks that are downloading it already. So check it out, Your Purpose, How to Know It, Live It, Love It. It's an audiobook I have just for you. And I really get transparent. I get authentic, but I talk about the things I've learned in a spiritual, practical, and emotional way throughout my time in corporate America, ministry, nonprofit, and now owning my own business. So check it out. And so next week again, coming soon, we have the Ultimate LinkedIn Profile. That's a course I'm creating. It's going to be released in 2022, Q1, and I'm really excited. I'm working on behind the scenes with that, and you'll get a lot more of this kind of stuff in a practical step-by-step way so you can really knock LinkedIn out of the park in 2022. And that's it. That's it. Really glad to have you guys here. So thankful that you're with me today, and really looking forward to having you go and grow in your purpose, to know, live, and love the purpose for your career and finances. We'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Seriously, get out of here.